Yo, it's Monday today, but of course, it doesn't matter because everybody is unemployed and we're in lockdown. I mean, not really. Things are starting to open up now that it's finally June. It's been like, what, 3 months? My point is, people don't really care what day it is anymore because we're all living without a plan, without a direction. Kind of want to get back to normal, but some of us are enjoying having this time off. But that's not what's been on my mind this morning. In fact, I've been very troubled this morning. I had to actually take a moment before videoing this, just to deal with my emotions, deal with my unrest, my uneasiness. I'm not saying what I felt was wrong. I think everything we feel, we always feel for a reason. And we should acknowledge those feelings and deal with them in healthy ways. For example, there's nothing wrong with hating someone or hating a group of people. People feel that way sometimes. And it's totally human and natural to feel hate. But there's ways to deal with it that are healthier and better than others. I mean, for example, if I hate a man, I want to kill him. I want to get rid of him. I just wish he would disappear. The best way to deal with that is probably not cutting his neck, right? The best way to deal with that might be to go up to him and honestly let him know, I hate your guts. I wish, you bastard, I wish you just never existed. And then he can understand you. Instead of putting on a face, putting on a mask. He'll just continue doing what he does, upsetting you, and you'll keep thinking what you think, getting lost in thought, in those recurring loops of how much damage he's causing to you. Meanwhile, you're causing unknown amounts of damage to him because you're not being honest with him. You're not being honest with yourself. See, if we just were honest about these quote-unquote negative feelings we have, hateful feelings, destructive feelings, and we told whoever we hate, I hate you, that would kind of release that pressure valve from our hearts, get some of that pent-up, hidden energy out into the world, and maybe you'd feel a little more relaxed due to it. I mean, it's my personal experience that these negative thoughts, when acknowledged, when treated honestly, tend towards causing a bit of a humorous situation. I can look back and, oh man, I just laugh at it. Huh. Wow. I thought that. Yeah, I did. And then you're kind of get into a situation where you go back to said person you hated or whatever. And you kind of say, you bastard. Yeah. So, that's one way. B, the other way, it helps the world finally go round again, is the person you hate suddenly becomes aware of it, they become conscious of it, and maybe they'll take on some extra responsibility. Maybe they'll take it upon themselves to self-reflect and see the pain they're causing you. And maybe that'll just spark a little bit of change in their heart. Maybe give it an extra little bit of effort to be good to you, to maybe not to be good to you perhaps, because maybe they hate you also, but at least they'll be aware, and at least there's a chance, it won't happen all the time, but at least there's a chance that they'll change their path just slightly to start to understand you and start to be conscious about how you feel about them. And like I said, maybe their intentions will veer towards making you feel a little bit better. Maybe they'll, I don't know, if it's a coworker you hate, let's say, maybe they'll bring you in a sandwich for lunch and say, hey man, I brought us both lunch today. How do you like it? I made it myself. You know, it's from the vegetables in my garden, for example. Or, and this is the big topic at hand, there's a lot of fucking racism, it seems like. Or, yeah, it seems like you know, maybe if people were just honest about their racism instead of just shutting themselves up, or instead of having another group come in and say, no, 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 never think that, that's horrible, and just shutting it up and shutting it off. Maybe if people were able to express themselves, they'd realize how absurd it is to hate on a fellow group of men and women like that, or whatever's in between nowadays. And maybe then that group, say it's black people, maybe they'll look in and they'll say, fuck, what could we do about it? What could we do about it? How could we be better people? And make these people see we're the same. We're exactly the same. We're just as loving, just as caring. We have the same families. You know, come meet my son, come meet my daughter. Same as your son, same as your daughter. I go through the same struggles you go through. I don't have enough money. I wish I had more money. I don't know, like whatever the human struggle is in today's day and age, in today's culture, we all share it. You know, but it's just this unhealthy shutting up of our feelings, cutting them off, that does real harm. That's where the danger is. That's where the damage comes out. It's when you don't acknowledge your feelings, then they come out in very destructive ways. Very destructive ways. I guess now I should kind of tell you what was on my mind and what was causing me the unrest. Because I gotta share too. See, I see these protests out in the streets, and like I said yesterday, now they're here in Montreal overnight. We had one of those protests, Black Lives Matter, against police brutality, against authoritarianism, all of that. We had that here in Montreal too, right after Toronto, right after Vancouver, so now it's right next door. And it just makes me so upset that the whole system we live in is potentially bullshit, potentially a lie. I mean, why do we have police? What is the purpose of having police? Is it to protect people? Is it to protect property? I mean, they say it's to protect the people, it's to protect and serve, right? And then it seems to me like their words come out hollow and their actions are where the real meaning is. They seem to protect property, value the property of the elite overlords more than the workers, more than the workers' lives, more than, you know, the regular middle class. Our lives, fuck it. Subjugated beneath the property of the wealthy. By the way, I should tell you, this might get a little political, so if this upsets you, listen to it. I was about to say, get out of here, don't listen. No, listen to it. Maybe it'll help you to hear the other side, to understand, because I don't even know who I'm going to upset with these words. I'll probably upset both sides. Well, who cares? Feel upset. It's a good thing. You know, acknowledge that upsetness. Deal with it. Figure it out. Face your fears. Anyways, so sometimes I get these feelings of like, what is the point of our police? If they say one thing and then they do the other thing, you know, just perpetuating this whole culture of control and this culture of enslavement. I mean, that's really what it is. It goes back in history as far as time can tell. People want to enslave other people. People want to control other people. I just don't know what it is about human nature. We all want to do it. I'm guilty of it. You might be guilty of it. Now, I don't want to assume or anything here, but like, you're probably guilty of it. Everyone is guilty of it at some point. We just want to control the world around us and bend it to our will, force it beneath our might. And we all want that power. We all want it so badly. And then, once we get that power, we want to protect it and amass more and more and more. And then we hire these police forces that we say, oh, they're for the public. So then we spew propaganda to make people believe that they're there for a good reason, a valid reason, when in reality they're there to protect the nefarious needs of these power-hungry bastards. And then I get so lost in this, and it becomes more and more about hating on the rich, hating on the wealthy, hating on the powerful, hating on the people who oppress me, poor little old me. Boo-hoo. And suddenly, I come full circle and I realize, oh, I'm starting to think some pretty wild thoughts here, some pretty absurd thoughts here. Some thoughts that maybe are a little bit far-fetched. I mean, yeah, they make sense in the moment, especially when you're being blasted by propaganda from TV and the news stations. And I turn on my phone and I see all these protests and they try and make you fear. And under that weight of the fear and under the weight of the hate, these thoughts just self-perpetuate. And then I get lost. And then when I'm lost, I take a deep breath. Take a drink of water. Take a step back. And self-reflect. What am I thinking? And then I kind of chuckle or do that mouth closed, nose kind of laugh thing that we all do. Maybe I'll even open my mouth and actually let out a bit of a ha. Ridiculous. And suddenly that unrest, that unease is gone. Dealt with the feelings that were perfectly normal to feel. Instead of trying to cut them off, trying to throw them away, I felt them. I went through it. I had the courage to face those fears, to go into the depths, the dark depths of my mind, feel those thoughts. And I come out on the other side as a brighter man. And I think society as a whole is going through that right now. So if you're feeling uneasy about the world around us with the lockdown and all this change, all this wild stuff going on that we've never experienced before, unemployment's at miraculously high levels. Miraculously is the wrong word, or maybe it's the right word, depends how you view it. Yeah, just all this craziness. Go through it. Feel what you're feeling. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Acknowledge it. I mean, I don't know. I've never felt racist feelings, but I'm sure there are people out there who do feel the fear about the other type of people that don't look like them, because they can't understand. And it's okay. Yeah, I'm going to say it here on camera. It's okay to feel racism if you acknowledge it and deal with it honestly. If you can honestly tell yourself, yes, I'm feeling racist right now. I guess it's human nature. We tend to want to band together, form tight-knit communities. And to have a community with an in, there has to be an outside. I mean, it's the most basic of principles. I was shocked how incredible life became after I just realized this one thing, and that's every inside has an outside. So if you want to make an inside, you have to make an outside. And I'm not saying it's a right or bad thing, good or bad thing. I'm Just saying that's how it is. So if you want these tight communities, which is what we all crave, insideness, we all crave acceptance, the opposite has to come true. Non-acceptance, expulsion, outside. It's just a natural consequence of doing those things that way. So, feel those feelings. Go deep within those thoughts. Let them happen. Don't take them too seriously. And then hopefully, at the end, you'll feel much, much better for it.